just after Halloween last year, my son David, who was a second grader at the time, came home with a question, barreling at me, the way he usually does. That is his typical MO. I made a new friend today. That's pretty common. He's a Leo. His name is Jose. Also, that's pretty normal. His school is about 55% Hispanic. Jose doesn't have a bed. Can I give him my bed? That caught me off guard. Apparently, in the span of recess, David met and befriended Jose, found out he'd just arrived from Puerto Rico and had left most of his belongings behind. And after they commiserated together about how scary hurricanes are, Jose shared that he was sharing a bed with 3 other children. And David decided at that moment that he could do without in order to make his new friend feel at home. Now, I'm biased, of course, but the goodness of his heart teaches me in unexpected ways, and it really makes me think. So, home, let me ask you, let me make it personal. What comes to mind for you? Is it a smell? Freshly baked cookies, your dad's aftershave. How about a sound? Cicadas in the summertime, your grandmother's laughter. Maybe it's a sensation. You know, the fuzz of that favorite blanket on just the right spot in the couch, right? Or your brother's bear hugs. How much is enough to evoke home for you? And what things are crucial? Family photos, maybe? How about that old pair of jeans you just can't bear to part with, even though it's been years since you could squeeze into them? Right? How about that teddy bear where all the fur has been completely loved off? And if you had to leave in a hurry, what would you take? And what would you abandon? Really think about it with me, please. I want you to think carefully, picture carefully in your minds what evokes home for you. And hold on to that, because we're going to come back to it. Now, our community is one that cares very deeply about one another. It's a place we are proud to call home. When others are in need, our community wraps our arms around them and we provide help. That is what we do. And hurricanes are something we have learned to live with from an early age, especially for those of us who've grown up here. On August 25th, 2017, Harvey hit Houston. And our community, when we were asked, sprung into action, and we sent them underwear and socks and school supplies. That's what they asked for, that's what they needed. On September 10th, Irma came through Orlando and flooded a number of our low-income and low-lying neighborhoods. And again, we were right there immediately. Food, water, clean sheets, towels. We were there. And then, September 20th, Maria hit Puerto Rico. 3.5 million people were left without electricity or potable water. 3 days later, the first few flights started to arrive here in Orlando from Puerto Rico. There's a September 30th Miami Herald article where Stephanie Santiago is quoted stating the obvious. No one can live without water, without food, without light. And 3 months after the hurricanes hit, nearly 250,000 Puerto Ricans had arrived in Florida, most of them here in Orlando. Almost 3,500 displaced students enrolled in our local public schools. Over 80% of them were from Puerto Rico alone. And many of these children came without parents. Can you imagine? Came to live with relatives who they may have met a few times, or once, or not at all, till now. Something that surprised us is that they didn't settle just in the pockets and neighborhoods that we had anticipated. They spread all over the county, which impacted dozens and dozens of our public schools. Now, the community response was outstanding, because that is what we do, right? Nonprofits, corporations from all across the county, from Universal to Goodwill, churches and TV stations, everybody mobilized to provide what was needed. Backpacks stuffed with school supplies, right? Gift cards, cash, even musical instruments. We got a collaborative grant to work with a Gift for Teaching to be able to distribute all of this stuff quickly, both now and for future disasters. At OCPS, we created a fund to help our families, those who were already here and those who were arriving. We created holiday gift baskets for our new employees who were from Puerto Rico. And we gathered and shared stories. The student at Colonial High School being interviewed on TV, who said when she was asked what she missed the most, "I just want to hug my mom." The grandparents boarding a bus at one of our middle schools to go to SeaWorld for the Christmas celebration for free, who could only nod and clasp the hands of the principal over and over and over again to express their gratitude. My second grader, willing to give away his bed. It was an amazing experience, absolutely amazing to see. And frankly, the work that we did to prepare our current students was the easiest. We worked with them on core values that we teach every day, reminding them how to apply them. Simple things: have respect, be kind, safety first. Our schools organized forums to welcome the new families and to allow neighbors to offer help. We manned that welcome center at the airport for months, giving out information about employment and school registration in English and Spanish. We made sure we had those backpacks ready to go at the welcome center, at student enrollment, at our school's front desks. Easy. And the reason it was easy is because our superintendent set the tone early and emphatically. She said, "These children, tell your neighbors and tell your friends, these children are welcome with open arms." And her message captures this truth. A sense of belonging is vital. Now, when we think about basic needs, our minds go immediately to food, water, shelter, right? That's what we think of. And those are important, especially in times of disaster. We have to have those. We need electricity. We need supplies. Clothing that fits helps you fit in, right? The comfort of a routine establishes trust, especially for children. And the stability of a job brings relief. But alone, these things are not enough. Our basic needs and our human basic needs transcend things. We are inherently social animals, and tribe is important. Dr. Will Schutz, in his book, The Human Element, lays out the three most basic human needs, and they are in order. Number one, inclusion or significance, to be worthy of your attention. Control or competency, to be seen as able by myself and others. And openness or likability, to be worthy of friendship or love. But first and foremost is inclusion, to be included, not ignored, to belong. How basic is it? When a newborn cries, she's saying, "Pay attention to me." When a teenager follows the latest fad, he's saying, "I'm in the in crowd," right? When my fellow speakers and I arrived here today and are secretly checking out what everybody's wearing, we're really asking, do I fit here? It's basic. Dan Coyle, in the Culture Code, points out the fact that our primitive brains tell us, if I don't belong, I could die. Well, that's fairly intense, but it's a powerful instinct. And in fact, those who don't belong, those who are excluded or ignored, have a very difficult time getting those basic needs of food, shelter, and water. Now remember, I asked you to think about what evokes home for you. I want you to picture that again. Close your eyes. Everybody close your eyes. Picture what evokes home for you. Pick just 3 of those elements. Now take it down to 2. Now pick 1 and open your eyes. How many of you chose a thing, and how many chose a sensation or a feeling or a person? Because it's not the things we carry in our arms that create home. It's what we hold in our hearts and our minds and our willingness to welcome others that does it, right? It's so simple, so simple. It is not the things. And every action that we take that embodies the message, you belong, creates home for others. Home welcomes you. It embraces you. It supports you and believes in you. In the end, it's not the bed, but that impulse to give it that matters. See? We can learn a lot from that second grader. Thank you.